Así se baila la cumbia Monterrey.
Hi, welcome to Reviews for Adults. My name is Ali, and today we'll be reviewing Ya No Estoy Aqui. Ya No Estoy Aqui, in its English titled I'm No Longer Here, is streaming currently on Netflix, and it's a film that is directed by Mexican director Fernando Frias. Now, interestingly, I came across this film while listening to Yara Said's Best of 2020 film list, which I'll link below. And let me tell you, Ya No Estoy Aqui is a revelation. Ya No Estoy Aquí follows the story of Ulises Samperio, who's played beautifully by Juan Daniel Garcia Treviño, a non-professional actor who actually reminds me a little bit of Sydney Flanagan from Never, Rarely, Sometimes, Always, just in the way that they're both non-professional actors, like this is their first acting gig in a film, but they're both very talented. They portray their characters with both a level of authenticity but also nuance. They're very, very good portrayals. So Ulises, he is the leader of a small street gang from the real life but very brief counterculture movement, Colombia with a K, that took place in the state of Monterrey between 2010 and 2011. Now, Colombia revolved around their particular take on cumbia music, basically a slowed down version of cumbia. The group of friends protect each other. They have a particular style, they have particular haircuts, the way that they wear their clothes, and they have a manner of dancing. They call themselves Los Tercos, which translates to the stubborn ones in English. Los Tercos are one of many such groups that as a whole make up this counterculture movement called Colombia. Now, these group of kids, these street gangs are constantly rubbing elbows with other more violent gangs or even carteles during what was one of the most violent periods of time during the cartel wars. Now, Los Tercos and the Colombia movement essentially functioned as a way to keep kids from joining or from being recruited by these carteles. However, due to a tragic misunderstanding, it becomes a matter of life and death for Ulises to cross the border, and he makes his way to Queens. He tries to survive by working odd jobs, but due to a lack of contacts and the language barrier and the fact that he's there illegally, the situation becomes untenable and he ends up on the streets. He gets picked up by the police, turned over to ICE, and deported. There's so many interesting things about Ya No Estoy Aquí. For one, truly what first blew me away was the cinematography. The shots, the camera angles are all extremely well developed. Guillermo del Toro talks about the filmmaker, Fernando Frias, who clearly already has a mastery over the medium. Truly, I was not expecting the level of visual articulation that he gives us here. He has a clearly fully formed visual vocabulary, and it's just another dimension of storytelling that is highly effective and that points to a very talented filmmaker. There are also so many narrative details that give a very rich texture to the storytelling, which is to say that Fernando Frias truly understood his script. Actually, as I think about it, I remember that he actually wrote it as a short story and got it published as a short story prior to being able to develop it into a film. And this really translates very well into the film, given that he's able to create these narrative metaphors that really reflect the themes of the story. And he deploys them at these very particular, extremely well thought out moments to just really reflect those very important narrative moments to propel the story. As for the story itself, it is a deceptively straightforward story that seems to, just go effortlessly from A to Z without meandering, without losing itself. But at the same time, at the end, when you reflect on it, you can tell that it it manages to tell so much. You realize that it's about such like universal themes that you can't really call the story like simple. Although it is like succinct, it's very well told. It's very like narratively, it's very tight. What is the story about? Well, the story is about home. It's about identity. It's about evaluating what is important. It touches on social issues, economic issues, but it resists succumbing to being a film solely about those things. These things are necessary contextually, but they are not its focus. The focus is the inevitability of change, a truly universal theme. True to the Mexican artistic ethos, the story is as beautiful as it is brutal. It is an unflinching depiction of its subject. It's realistic. Point in case, its treatment of violence is unsentimental. It is neither dramatic nor romanticized. And it delivers probably one of the best drive-by shooting scenes ever depicted on film. Yet, it is this very unsentimentality that drives the drama. It is a film about bad things happening to someone, yet Ulises is never depicted from the position of victimization, rather from the position that just bad things happen and you can't help them from happening. It depicts life as a wave of things that one has no control over. Pure and simple. Ya No Estoy Aqui is shortlisted for a nomination for Best International Feature Film for the 93rd Academy Awards, and it is currently streaming on Netflix. I highly, highly recommend it. Have some tissues nearby, and I hope that you enjoy it. Let us know if you did enjoy it, what you thought of it, and as always, thank you very much for watching. My name is Ali for Reviews for Adults.